Well, hello. Fox and I are here, and you're right. It is time for a final boss. Ooh, I forgot to change. Well, hi. That should be right. I believe. I hope. One should beep. Dang, that thing just does not die. It's interesting though. Is it cooling off?
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I guess I
Oh, nice.
Fox is playing Breath of the Wild. Doesn't do damage, but it'll like blow his arms off, so he can't like throw shit at you. Anyways, I'm going to be trying to focus while Fox is playing Breath of the Wild. We'll see how it goes. But overall, it should be just fun nonetheless. So, this is a priority edit. Oh, there's a bunch of luminous stones down there. Man, you may not have enough fellows. Focus. She's right. Focus. Alright, so this is 667's story. I don't know the name. It's the first chapter is Mother of the Nights. That's what I'm calling it. We're going to try to get to 10 pages here. They are single space pages, which is we usually want to do double space, so it's a little easier on the old eyeballs. Alright, that looks more like a manuscript here. I mean, one time I tried to like jump on his back, which I did successfully, and I beat him like to half-life just with the whipping. But it's like really hard because then you're gonna start dying really fast. You may have to. I guess you might be able to take him down. Anyways, Silas of Jerdian pulled a 6 of knaves from the deck and winced at his selection for placing the card face up before him. He waited patiently. Just adverbs. Watch out for those. Suggesting. Ponder his past. So one thing to think about is you're using a very high register of language, which works. Just go for the back jump. It worked for me. Just do it while he's down. Slash that thing. Oh, one more hit. I think you got him. Wow. Oh, I haven't even killed one of those yet.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
So many jewels. I just want to see all the stuff you're going to get. Look at all that.
Focus.
Did like half-life damage with the sledgehammer. That was crazy.
Well, no, I only have like that much.
Gotcha. Alright, so you're using a high register of language. Kind of has its drawbacks in some degree by making things a little bit less accessible to some readers, but food for thought. If that's what you're looking for, then I would say go for it. But yeah, I sometimes lean towards a more neutral register. He waited for Major and Gamma to ponder his past. What does that mean? One wrinkled hand on her cheek, the other presenting the shining edges. Ponder his past feels a bit vague. It confuses me a little. because I don't know what his past is or what this means for the scene. So yeah, it doesn't. If I don't know what the past is, it's hard for me to know what this means for the scene, what this means for the story. So usually those more abstract things you kind of want to save till a little later, once we have the context, or give us the context here. She sat within the table's half-moon curve. An aged woman with shoulders up to her ears and arms that barely reached over the table's edge. She wore a cloak of wool. Ordering here can be a wool cloak. Color of clear night sky. The hood that covered her forehead. Yeah, the language, the sentence structure seems funny. Not in a bad way, but I would just think about how you order things. Well, it just reads weird. Anyway, silver embroidery line its edges, like an ancient tome, though its patterns had 1,000 tales. There he is, at long last, 667. How goes it? We are actually reading your work. So well timed. And I'm trying not to get too distracted by Fox playing Breath of the Wild, which may or may not happen. Oh shit! Perfect timing. I'm finally actually doing an edit for once, instead of writing all the time. But yes. Oh crap! Silver embroidery lined its edges like an ancient tome, though its patterns told 1,000 tales without the need for language or written word. I'd be more specific. What does this mean? I'd almost use the same concrete. Early in a story, I would be just as concrete as you would be in a screenplay. So, like, what does this look like? What's a description of the concrete details that gets me to this conclusion? Does the embroidery look like winding text from an old book in a strange language? Those types of things. Tell me exactly how the embroidery looks, so I come to this conclusion myself. Her bright eyes hovered beneath the shade of her cloak, like the 2 moons of Eden Hollow, the beacon of Eden Hollow, beacons in a sea of obsidian. Silas hovered opposite Gemma, tense and contemplating the meaning of his card. His cloak also bore intricate detail of the silver kept hidden under the hem of intricate detail of silver. It resembled a sardonyx stone with swirls of layers of gray. So I don't have to Google that because I don't know what that means. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. So we're really starting with a lot of description. So you set up with this wince up here when he turns the card over, but we don't get the payoff, for almost a page. I'm gonna look for it. So we have the description of their clothes. Fluorite crystals tied to the ceiling by twine swayed in each corner of the quaint room. A bouquet assortment of gemstones loomed over the chandelier. Very beautiful description. Each stone had something to say with its patterns and qualities. Scent of boiled vegetables. Welcome reminder. Delicious food. Though difficult to perceive, the room stirred with magic unseen. Okay, so here we get back to the card. It takes us Mystic Mike, welcome, but Want to be encouraging to writers. One more comment like that, and it will be your last. I can guarantee it. Yeah. Yeah. Feedback is good. Constructive feedback is better. Ooh, nice. Sorry, I'm watching Fox play Breath of the Wild. Oh no! Dang. It's 2 packs of fire arrows just like chilling for no reason. Oh, you killed something that had arrows? Oh. But anyways, welcome. We can understand. I understand lapses in judgment. We all make mistakes. Silas suffered opposite Gemma, complaining a tense meaning of his card. His cloak also bore intricate details. So you have a lot of detail. So one thing I would think about is these descriptions are really specific and drawn out. That's crazy.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting very distracted by Breath of the Wild. I wonder if these can either get worked in to the story, to a flow of action, which it feels like we're kind of pausing the action to get into these descriptions. Also, some things probably don't need to be as embellished enough. So, could this get worked in? Flow of the scene. Can we? Could this get worked in the flow of the scene? Can we have stuff happen while gripping information in as we go? I don't need all of this up front. Yeah, usually your upfront description is only really what your reader needs to kind of get a sense of what's going on, what the room looks like. But then the more specific details like smell, the exact types of crystals in the chandelier, that can get dripped in a little bit later. This one, though, this seems to actually be, because you're reporting Silas's thoughts here. Why are you carrying that?
Yes.
Fox is getting hitting some hard times right now.
Okay.
Sorry. She's stern but fair. You guys can see the actual looks here. You gotta use a fast weapon. That's too slow.
I don't have any.
Really? Yeah, you have a bunch. You have the 14.
They're on fire.
Oh, but they'll last for a while. No, but yeah, you can. It's fast. Jump. Jump, jump, jump. He's about to attack you. Nice. Change your weapon. It broke. Just do one of the goblin clubs. Oh, that's a big one. Do one of the little single-handed. Nice. All right. Ooh, nice. Yeah, there's another one up there, so be ready. Sorry, Fox is getting dark times. All right. Lost my train of thought there. I'll admit, Breath of the Wild's pretty cool. Maybe he's forgotten about the card. This poetic language is good, but don't let it distract from your scene. Rearrange the paragraphs and stuff also. Okay. I sent this to you a while ago. Well, do you want me to continue reading it? I can always take a new, if you have something right now, I can switch it out that you want me to edit. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, I can go through with this one or switch to Grover's, because we do have his coming up next as well.
Grover.
Lord Grover. Grover the Destroyer. So let me know. I'll give you a minute or two if you want to send over a new. Maybe I'll edit Grover's first. I'll email where it's at now. Sweet. You can do that. I will go through Grover's first, and I can come back to yours. All right, chapter 1, beginning. Koinu's pack members always told her that she was too alpha for a puppy. Everyone likes the single space. Probably like, 10 pages? 20 pages. Koinu's pack members always told her that she was too alpha for a puppy. Today, she would be putting her leading skills to the test for the first time with her sister's initial survival training. This trip was the first time Baruna entered Casca's forest to admire its beauty like her big sister always did. Too alpha. There ain't no such thing as too alpha. Today she put her leading. The first ingredient are Cassius. Yeah. My feet hurt. Baruna whined. Koinu rolled her eyes and continued through the forest. She had lost count of how many times. Baruna, your knees okay?
No. Stuck. Yeah. They're numb and stuck. I was like, oh crap.
Sudden panic. Sudden panic. Oh, it's so good. Deliciously grilled rock roast. Yeah, maybe this is not working. You want to edit with me, or should I go over there? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting way too distracted.
Yeah.
Moving the setup. I want to make sure I do justice to your all's work. Oh, only editors get sodas. Sodas for closers. Sodas for closers. Just kidding.
That's right through.
Okay. Now, focus at last. May or may not happen. Okay. Koinu's pack members always told her she was too alpha for a puppy. Yes. Koinu rolled her eyes and continued through the forest. She lost count of how many times Baruna needed coaxing to continue and questioned if she had done the same. Maybe show this. And you're doing a good job by having Baruna complain. Show this a little more. Consider having her say, like, come on, sis. You know, and then that was complaint number 5, you know, whatever. So like, just show us like her. Oh, she lost count. Like, oh, it's whining number 271. Like, you know, so those types of things can really give us access to Coiney's character a little bit earlier, even. I want to switch so bad. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we actually are playing on the Wii U, so we're playing it on the Wii U. A friend let us borrow theirs because we're poor. No, we're just cheap. I'm cheap. How you doing, Fox? Better? You got a shrine? Oh, they tell you where it is? Oh. I'll just stick to RuneScape. Our snail plays Drover crazy, but at the same time, I don't think. I'll just keep that. Make it a long sentence. Eat her too, but we can't rest here, Coiney said. This sucks, Bruna barked. He whimper and mumble grievances. Are you sure we're safe? Bruna asked. Safe enough, Coiney said. You don't always need dialogue tags. Not dialogue tags are optional as long as who is talking is clear. One way, so you can either just do, you know, option 1. Just by itself. Option 2. You can have it like, you know, the same thing. But then you can actually add, if you want to clarify who's speaking, you can actually add some detail about what happened. Bruna licked her paw, you know, whatever. You mentioned each time. I don't know. So those are ways that you can have a dialogue tag, a named character, but you don't have to always say, he said, she said, he said, she said. Your reader can get it. So be okay with dialing back the tags, and it'll make the read a lot smoother. Still, she didn't think this was a total lie. The day's predators never had much interest in her, but she was always ready to bolt up a tree. Night predators were different, and assured she headed home long before the sunset. These nocturnal beasts wouldn't rip them apart. Yeah, like good creating a sense of tension. Yeah, that works. My feet really hurt, Bruna said, her ears now flattered. I just do Bruna's ears flattened. Bruna's. I really don't want a space there. Bruna's ears flattened. Pointing her the ears, just shake her sister. Silly. Walk on all fours, it'll help. Bruna looked at her squeaky clean paws. But my paws will get dirty. Your feet are dirty, stupid. Reporting on a growl. But Koinu couldn't take it anymore. She showed her pearly white teeth snarling at Bruna. One thing I would consider is, because we're working with I would give a character description up here. Yeah, so these are creatures we've never seen before, especially when working in fantasy. And 667 in his does it well, right? So he's, in his story, he was setting up maybe a little bit too much, but we almost have no setup here in terms of, hey, we're in a fantasy world. There are things we've never seen before happening. So you need to just give the reader, you don't have to give the whole thing. You need to give the reader enough to understand what's happening in the scene. Then drip in your detail down the road. So my recommendation, do you do screenplay edits or dialogue edits? I do both. I actually this stream originally started doing screenplays only. But I've done much more prose, just because it's a very similar thing. But yes, if you have a screenplay, Sabrina, feel free to, I don't know if it'll let me type it in, but feel free to send it to us at final.boss.editing@gmail.com. Also, Periscope is good, but one of the easier ways to watch this is on twitch.tv/finalbossediting. That way you can interact with more people on chat, and your chats will show up. But do not worry, I read them. I have dialogue mainly, but it's different for comics. Yeah, absolutely. Comics are very, very different. That's what I'm writing for. Nice. Well, feel free, send it in. The first 10 pages or whatever, well, if you don't mind us editing it live, will be free. But people have also done paid edits down the road. Did you get mine? Let me check. I don't think so. Did you send it to the right final boss? Lord of Final Bosses? I'll ping you again. Meow? There you go. I struggle with detail, like being overly detailed with my comic writing. I'm a newbie into it. Well, yeah, feel free to send your stuff in. I'm gonna turn off the gain so you don't go deaf. But yeah, feel free to send your stuff in. That's what we do here. is a lot of writers who are just getting their feet wet. So yeah, and feel free to watch. A lot of times you'll just kind of see stuff that maybe will apply to your work in these edits. Yeah, but it is okay to be a newbie. Everybody was a newbie one time. Everybody starts as a newbie. But yes, I think here we really need to get these character descriptions a little bit earlier. I don't think we have enough. This is cool. I just joined, so I'll follow you. Sweet. Well, welcome, Sabrina. Thanks for the follow. Much obliged. But yes, we need to have enough early in like the first 2 or 3 paragraphs of the scene, unless you're doing something very specific to visualize the scene, what's going on. All the details and kind of all the cool items in the scene don't need to get dripped in until they're necessary. But yes, I think that's something that I'm finding to be a little bit absent so far. Queen resisted urge to shake her sister silly. Your feet are already dirty. Yeah. Again, the dialogue tags probably. So yeah, this one, for example, this is, I think you did it right, but it's actually, you put a comma here, so that's not a dialogue tag, right? You can just go like this. So your intuition is right. You can take out the comma because it's not a dialogue tag. It's a sentence with a dialogue tag tacked at the end. And same with this one, actually. Yeah, we can kind of get from the tone. So your tone is already pretty clear here. Your feet are butt, Koinu. And there you go. You took out the tag. So I think you're already intuiting that you kind of want to reduce the amount of these tags. So yeah, that works. Koinu couldn't take it anymore and showed her pearly white teeth snarling at Baruna. She snatched the little pup's robes and forced her down on all fours, soiling the precious paws. Look it, she said. Baruna's face lit up, as did the same a sniff around while our long ponytails were dangling in the dirt. Yeah, so I didn't realize. Okay, should have said now. Sweet. Didn't realize there were ponytails. Yeah, what I would do, so this is kind of another maybe marble in the jar in terms of you may want to get some more of these character descriptions in early. Just give each of these characters a paragraph of just what do they look like? What do they look like? What kind of animals are they? Those types of things. Sweet, should have sent now. Let's see. Yes, there it is. Current draft. Eden Hollow. Excellent. Alright, I'll do that in a little bit. Koinu stood, striking the guide as they pressed forward. See, it's nice. Stay down, for I'll bop you. Verena giggled and tried to beside her, tail switching to and fro, tongue hanging out. There was the silly sister she knew and loved. So her attitude has changed pretty rapidly. Her attitude changed from an annoyance to affection very rapidly. Consider giving us access to her thoughts so we can follow this transition. I.e., like, whatever. That's a bad example, but that kind of goes what I'm saying. Bruna smiled up at her with tail wags. Better. Quinn is zigzag between Master's trunks, sleeping between gargantuan roots. Sometimes they pass on the trees. Clean air's path is too dangerous. Slow your breathing. Written in big letters on the front that stated. So that's a bit of a funny sentence. So I would just say the words. Something like that. Phrase. Okay, Koinu slowed the pace. That good aura heat bear down on them despite the thick forest foliage above. Oops. Baruna's painting wouldn't help them and would dehydrate them even faster. Lord Foxamort is in the Zelda zone. You're in the Zelda zone. Where are you at now? Did you look at a shrine map or something? He's a magnet. Anyways, ADD. I digress. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having trouble understanding the dynamic here. Between the sisters. They seem affectionate and antagonistic. The other. Also consider giving us a clearer sense of what their goal is. Like what are they doing out here in the forest? Why are they here? What do they want? Give us even just some little hints on that. I think that'll help us engage a lot more as the reader, because we'll be wondering, will it work out? Will it work out or not? Fine, you little insubordinate. We'll take a break. She's gonna have like a marine voice, because it sounds like she's a marine. Flopped her rump onto the forest floor at once, her expression mellowing that she had gotten away. Tossed it to the ground, straightening. Yeah, I'm having trouble visualizing these kind of wolf people. Are they 2-footed? Are they 4-footed? The Corgi Commander. How are you, sir? How are your troops of corgis with their stubby little legs? Hopefully well. Parrots rambled high above them, while monkeys swung through the trees. A group of wild boars munched. Was munching? No. Remember, those infinitives. So this is actually kind of a good general thing. Infinitives like this, like was going, was munching, usually can get shortened to munched or went, which will add a lot more active push to your prose. So those, anything where you're like was going, was thinking, thought, went, those can be really powerful in terms of making that prose move a lot quicker. Koinu drooled. She's fantasized of boar bacon, but remembered the hunting trip wasn't allowed. No exceptions. Yes, you are. You can totally ask off topic. The troops are ready to surge over the border of Serbia. It's a force to be reckoned with. Please feel free to ask any writing questions as we go along. I forgot to make that explicit, but yes, all questions are allowed and welcome. Koinu laughed when Varuna jumped on her and gave her wet puppy kisses, ruffled her ears. So it feels like, they're on this, like the mission feels important, but not, right? The mission feels like it's important the way the way Koinu is treating it, but the characters seem, like they're having fun and being silly. Starting to ask whether this mission feels like we're in the middle, which is okay early on, but I think now that we're about at page 4, we kind of want to start settling on the side of, is this a important mission that these characters are taking very seriously? Is it something they really care about? Or is this a kid's mission that they're just having fun and goofing around? It feels like Koinu thinks it's an important mission, but when she interacts with Baruna, she's very kind of chill and silly and like, haha, this is fun. So that to me it seems contradictory at some level. So either Koinu could take it really seriously and get really mad, and Baruna could just be screwing around. I think that's what you're going for. But then maybe just knowing what the mission is would help me kind of know why Koinu cares and Baruna doesn't. How would you explain your world's creation? Who created the galaxies and stars and planets? Even as far as who created the deities? It depends on what your goal is, right? I miss. Most of the world's creation epic and all the details about the world will be for only the writer to know. Your goal, I would say, unless it's critical to the story, unless knowing how the world was created changes the outcome of the story. One of the biggest mistakes I feel like fantasy writers make is they, write books of world building, and then they try to fit it all in the first chapter of their story. One of the biggest mistakes, you can make. The goal of the first chapter of your story is to set up an interesting character in a challenging situation, right? Like, I'll give you an example. You could open your story with, the galaxy came to life through, Eru's word, and Eru's word formed the planets, and the planets formed their children. So you can go on that, right? Or you could start it with, Jared jumped into the center of the fighting pit. His sister was 100 yards away, cowered as one of the soldiers prepared to execute the prisoner. He threw his sword at the soldier, catching him mid. So you're like immediately in the action of this guy trying to save his sister from a fighting pit. That's something people care about because it's the guy saving his sister, whereas people relate to people. So whenever you have a lot of this big high fantasy stuff, the reason a lot of it doesn't make it into your book or a lot of the mythology is just because it's people want to see a story with characters that's driving forward. You can have it, and Silmarillion is a really famous book that does this. But the first 50 pages, people always joke, is really slow because it doesn't get good until later on when the characters are actually trying to kill Morgoth, kind of the evil god. So it kind of has, I would say, write that stuff. That's really important, but doesn't necessarily have to make it into your book. Your story is a story, right? And the world building is different. A good example is Brandon Sanderson, one of the very famous world building writers, wrote Way of Kings. And for that series, he wrote 400,000 words of backstory. 400,000 words of backstory, of world building, everything. And most of the book is not about any of that. It's about the characters, what they're going through. And he only drips in little bits of black stories. So it's really good that you write the backstory. It'll be really, like, people will be able to feel it when they're reading your scenes. They'll know that there's this deep world behind it, and that makes a huge difference to the read. So keep writing that backstory, but remember, the spotlight needs to be on the characters, not necessarily the backstory. So yeah, I know that didn't exactly answer your question, but maybe trying to head off something that I see a lot in fantasy. That usually can spell ill for the story. Yeah, for sure. And feel free, keep shooting. I'm gonna get a few more pages in here though, but yeah, throw some more questions in, and I might answer them in a page or two. Koinu stopped at the moment Bruna butterflies filling her stomach. The fluttering was warning. Out of bounds. Enhancement placed 2 miles around the clan. Only once before she defied it to check out the distant elder tree. I do wonder if I can get this earlier. A little earlier. And I wonder why Bruna hasn't been notified about this goal. Yeah, so it looks like this is, becoming a big puppy. So I wonder why they're not having Bruna do these instructions and know about them, because Bruna seems like she cares about growing up, or would. So why did they withhold that information? Because it looks like this information has been withheld from Bruna, because she's like, okay, we did it, we completed the mission, we're going back. But why? Why did they withhold it? I may try to check my main work your way once I flesh the hell out and fix the logic flaws. Feel free. I think here's the edits. There's the all the stuff. My email's in there. Yeah. So that is always the good way. Feel free. I can't wait to read it. I hope it involves lots of stubby-armed corgis. Thanks for the follow, Tialak. Sorry, it's a tough one to pronounce. But thank you for the follow. And as always, feel free to send in your work if you want it edited. The adults had to remind Koinu that she was still a puppy. They found it adorable when she challenged them over bedtime or tried to fight them over bath time. It quit being so amusing when she disrespected privacy or spied on adult discussions. Sometimes she pushed her luck too far. So these are great scenes. These are great scenes. Perhaps give us a scene of this. Think of Order of the Phoenix. This was the conflict for that entire story. But it had colorful scenes with extendable ears. Try rewriting one of the Order of the Phoenix scenes in your own words. Beat for beat. This is a writing exercise, should you choose to accept it. So, Grover, when you read this, or when you watch this, my challenge to you is go to one of the scenes of Order of the Phoenix. Start where this dynamic is happening, where Harry and them are trying to get into the adult world and the adults are pushing them back. Start by writing it word for word, like just legitimately type copy it. So verbatim, write down maybe one page. The second page, start changing some of the sentence structure, stuff like that, to something that's more your tone. The third page, just write it all yourself. Don't even look at the book. That might be a really great way to practice taking these concepts that are really good concepts and making them into scenes, making them into something that can drive conflict and stuff like that. So I really like that you established that here, but to some degree, I don't need to know this now. I don't need to know this is a tension for Koinu because I'm still in her scene with Baruna. So you can take this out, put it into a future scene, and make a whole scene around it to show me that this is a conflict, this is a want for her. Let's go home, Brutus said on the edge of panting. What's the what's the edge of panting? It's just like is there a significance once they start panting? Edge of panting suggests is it something that happens when they start panting that they're worried about? And feel free to type in your comments and questions as we go, those who are watching on chat. I just may take a little bit to get to them, but I love seeing your all thoughts come in. We could, Koinu said as she stretched, but if we go straight home, I can't show you my super secret spot. Is it cool? Follow me. They go on the detour. This place is berries! Ah! The gasp escaped your muzzle. Wait, is he popping into your muzzle? Beware! So this is a great example of word repetition. Beware. Word doubling. So stuff like this can kind of make the reader be like, wait, what? So whenever you have repeated words, I'll just do Baruna. This would be my edit of it. Gasped. And popped one into her muzzle. Pretty simple. Pretty simple edit. And look at that. As a writer, as you go down, you'll get into this land of, you'll always want to save words. Can you say it with less? Can you say it with less? Even if it drops under 50,000 words for a novel, if you're saying it with less, it's better. It's better. So trim. Spit it out, Courtney said, rushing towards Bruno. Get it out right now. Huh? Oh, you got it from the skeleton? Oh, nice. Thing's great. It's nice because, you don't need, anything to, light things on fire. You don't need to spark fires. Yeah. A giant which what? A giant ancient corn? Oh. Where are you? Oh, yeah. That one's free. Is that the one with the bows and arrows? Yeah, it's probably been my I like watching you struggle. Your feeble mind. Sorry, I digress. I'm making fun of Fox for her Zelda stuff. You didn't swallow any. We eat them at home. At home, we eat nothing while in the forest. Why not? Didn't you remember when I got super sick? You puked your brains out. I didn't listen to Papa and ate berries when he wasn't looking. Am I gonna get sick? Probably not, but you never eat anything in here till it's clean. It's good. So if this is a children's book, that's really good. Making sure kids don't eat random crap. When you clenched Bruna's shoulders so tight that she whimpered, "You gotta promise me." I feel like she kind of got the point. This seems like an intense moment. This seems needlessly, honestly, promising. They picked the berries before moving onward. Look it! Bruna peered through the lily pads down to the fishes. Bottom was a large blue ice crystal grown from elemental energy. It chills the water. Maybe we'll catch a fishy before we head. Oops. Koinu had to snatch Bruna by the scruff and start from drinking straight from the pond. I'm thirsty! The sterilizer, you'll be sick by the time we get home. Everything in the forest. So this feels so. The anger ups and downs feel like we're trying to put conflict into a scene that isn't naturally spawning its own conflict yet. The angry responses. Yeah, so give them, and that's a lot, but give them some conflict that's actually scene level conflict, not just don't do that, shame, shame, shame. Because that works and kind of the arguments work in terms of conflict, but scene level conflict is two people, two characters wanting different things in the same scene, and only one of them can get their way. That's usually the best way to generate conflict. Other ways is having a character say no, so the character comes in and is like, I want a taco. No tacos for you. Whatever that is. That really helps. Why are you crying? You're making fun of me. You hurt? You were like me? Of course. Now let me show you something cool. So now she's like really chummy again. So those are the types of things that scene level conflict could really help with. Is it'll kind of keep, because you're doing the right thing and saying, hey, I need something going on, so I'm going to have them argue, which works. But then you also are trying to show how these sisters are connecting, so it's kind of getting this up and down motion. So the thing to really consider, I think, would be looking for that scene level conflict, not just dialogue conflict. What does one person want that will, what do both characters want, and how do they become mutually exclusive? That'd be very, very helpful to look into. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna warm my toes up under a blanket and get a little Sprite. Little Sprite. I should just close the door. Look at you. I was just gonna say one word to get you. No. Took me one. What's wrong? That's evil. That's pure evil. You're dating someone who's evil. Alright. I return. Oh wow. There's only one person left. Lol. Everyone was like, no. You go for water, I leave. Didn't realize we were at the ultimatum phase. The ultimatum phase of this conversation. Alright. Good. Good show. Oops. Yeah, so this tells me more about Baruna than I could have ever gotten otherwise. Got it? She got it. What was in there? Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that sword. That's actually one of my favorite swords. Yeah, it lasts forever, and then you can use it as a torch. Like, it's the best. And you don't get electrocuted in thunderstorms with it. You don't get electrocuted in thunderstorms with it. Oh, they're having fun. You're a fox. Check this out. Gotta get in contact with more military guys for me to fix a lot of my logic flaws. All the corgis. No, I was just reading this dialogue.
Oh, calling you over?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm like, wait, Lynn is. You have floofy pooper. That makes fun of my hair for being floofy.
Yep, she has floofy hair, so I say.
I'm a weak floofy poofer.
You're a weak floofy poofer.
You're a floofy poofer.
You're a floofy poof. Lord of floofy poofs.
King of the floofs.
Well, we're about to start 667. Do you want to join for that one, or are you in the zone? She's in the Zelda zone. She's not an addict.
I'm not addicted yet, no. Definitely not.
You know, there was a long time ago when you used to actually do edits
That's
with
before
me.
Zelda came out. Once Zelda's over, we never do edits. Don't give me a little face. I don't want to hear it.
She's a disciplinarian now. She doesn't put up with my crap anymore. She just is like, let me tell you how it is, Jeffrey.
Listen up.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 667. I mean, I'm sure it's wonderful. I will read it on my own free time. I'm sure it's amazing, but Zelda. Gotta beat this shrine, man.
Gotta beat that shrine. That's a really hard shrine. That's one of the best.
It's long.
Yeah, it's a great
I like
shrine.
it. It's like a whole dungeon.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, enjoy.
I will. I'll be back.
Yeah, floofy poofer. Yeah. Another one, bottom right shelf. I gotta get to Safeway soon. Let's get him right a wall there. What's that? Yeah. Those are the best. Takes like 2 minutes to make. Just forgot they were there, to be honest. If I'm being real, I had no recollection that I owned those. Yeah. Alright, so we're at page 10. Great job. I like the little play fight. Yeah, you do a really good job. These are like, you can definitely feel these characters' connection, them being sisters. Ooh, you mind if I borrow the vape for a second before you plug back in? Or should I? Which one should it? I'll come. Oh, what a nice, wow, what a nice lady. I was like a second too late.
I know.
We're both, thank you. Extra back massage for you. Fox is a nice lady. I just need the energy. I need my like little nicotine kick to get me ready for the next one here. I'm like getting sleepy. It's late. All right. So this is no longer the one we're gonna do. But great job. I really like the connection you built with the sisters. Here, I'm gonna actually before I do that. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna write my overall notes. I think we're down here. Overall, the good. Really like the connection with the sisters. They seem to have an authentic improve the parents feel oddly fine. They give these rules to the kids but send them out in the forest. But I think at one point, one of the characters was like, oh, we'll get in trouble if the parents know we're in the forest. But then she's reading her notebook that I assume the parents gave her. So the reader's kind of like, well, did the parents send them in the forest? Are they just not supposed to be there? What's going on? Other good stuff. I like the world and the animal people setup. It's a lot of fun. The last thing I'd improve is drive for scene conflict. That's more than any of the other notes, I think. This will solve a lot of those other notes I gave, which is have one character, have the characters want things that are mutually exclusive. Or have one scene or the other. to the other for a specific. Great work overall. I'm excited to see what you come up with next in your next drafts. It's been a blast seeing this story transform from its first draft, which actually was it's pretty different now. It's a lot different. I feel like Eden Hollow though is next. Eden Hollow, Silas. Right. A dance with lights. A dance of lights. For tonight, you would kill a man. Cool. So, 667, are you ready for your edits? I hope you are. Or you're asleep. One of the two. It's probably pretty late over there. Watch the videos. Alright, Dance of Lights. So again, we're in a pretty high register of language. But even then, I would cut that out. Tonight, you would kill him. Keep it very direct. Even if you're working in a high register of language, having a lot of verbosity can be distracting. You can still have your shalls and therefores, but keep your action sentences precise, specific. I think that's very, very important. Scenery dance with lights. Yeah, great. Specific, concrete. You could even do one better and be like the valley. The narrows. Whatever narrows are, you know. The narrows dance with lights. Twin moons of Eden Hollow shone. They were not alone there. So one thing to think about, descriptive lists. They can be pretty effective if you vary them. This one seems a little too straightforward, but choosing one or two really concrete, sharp details and leaving the rest to the reader. And more effective. You know, just picked up. Like having like one or two very specific details can make a big difference. Silas's cloak bore the intricate detail resembled an onyx stone of swirls. You can actually cut out some of this stuff that resemble an onyx stone. Period. Swirls of layered grays bloom from shades of black. So this is almost the passive voice. I would rearrange this. Pin twist just clung. I would make this. Whatever, you know. That's just a bad example, but yeah. Okay, fasten the edges. The guard slept at the entrance. Would he remember where the sticks are, though? No. The guard slept at the entrance gap in the palisades. She lay slumped against the foot of a watchtower. I forgot to double space this. Um, breathed heavily and smelled strongly of ale. Passed out on a bed. This onyx stone. Wait a second. It resembled an onyx stone. This is his fabric. Wait, is the onyx fabric of the hem of his cloak? Or none walked the streets at night, leaving Silas to his own thoughts. Just one night during the work. Give me more concrete. More concrete. You need be more concrete with his interiority here. He hated those damned swindling bastards. You know, whatever. Like, you know, why? Give me some direction into why it's terrifying, and that really will help a lot. The Nightman. Is this the proper noun? Yeah. Should it be capitalized? And what's the character's reaction to being called this? Is it a good name? A bad name? Accurate one? Yeah, what's the character's reaction to this title? He dispersed down separate street ways, giving Silas a moment to collect himself. Fancy cloak you got there, Nightman. So then this is kind of making me wonder, like, why did he stealth past the guard if he's immediately... Yeah, what was the significance there? Because this seems to undermine that. Your accent. You mean to do business with the bloody elves there? Man must feed his family. Yeah, why is he opening up to this random guy that's bothering him? So I know this character isn't significant because he's unnamed, because he's lying. Good questions. Gotcha. That's awesome. So then, in this case, I would want to see the interiority. So this would be a great time to bring in those thoughts. Kept his head down. Whatever. Yeah. But those are, I'm not going to go too deep into the pros, but yeah, I'm trying to get with, this is the Untouchables. Well, I can say I have made much of an interaction with them myself, but you can't blame me for that. People with little or no money or influence matters not in my life. And what line of work can that be, stranger? So one thing to be aware of is this particular segment. I guess you already have his head down. Fancy cloak you got there, Nightman. It's not too bad. It feels a little bit like talking heads towards the end here. Yeah, so talking heads is when you just have dialogue and it's in the reader. If you stay in dialogue for too long with only dialogue, the reader will start to lose track of the scene and what they should be visualizing around it. So the man is so vague. It's worth it to give a little bit more concrete detail there, or at least around the scene, just so we don't just get lost in the dialogue. They outnumber the 4-1, you know. They strung him up by his wrists with a rope to the boughs of a dead tree. I stood there. More than you, it seems, as one does living in Grayscape. Someone develops after sustaining tragedy years prior the man reached. This is a bit already implied in the context of the theme. So we already kind of know that this is coming from his tragedy, his anger. So saying it again is a bit repetitive. They beat him with blunted clubs and threw rocks until he passed out from pain. Wanted to loose just one arrow to his suffering. You're a family man. Do you have any idea what it's like to want to strike your own flesh and blood to end their agony? Wondering why this. You need to hear it. Yeah, so I think this kind of comes down to conflict and the need for this old man in this scene. So we get a lot of good exposition here, which works. Also, good question. But why do we need to hear from this old man? I see that you're using it to kind of deliver a lot of exposition with conflict because he's grabbing him, so there's some uncertainty there. But how does this? After you finish the chapter, you'll see. Okay, so the old man is somehow revealed to be significant in some way. That's kind of what I gathered. That he might turn out to be like an actual character. So I would give more detail. So you can signal that to the reader a little bit more that he's going to be like a full character early on, like getting that really detailed view of what he looks like. Because we don't, said a man who'd been spewing into the dirt. So one, this guy's got a lot of pretty tough to go from yakking to talking. Not a full character, okay. He does go from yakking to talking a little quickly. Okay, another scene, an important one. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I wonder, I mean, it's hard to know without reading the whole thing, but one thing to think about or to ask is to say, is there another character that this one could be combined with down the road? Could it be one of your other characters in disguise? Anything like that. Characters that only enter for 2 or 3 scenes are usually given pretty minimal screen time. So like, especially even in a novel, you just want to focus screen time and give the most, like, if you have, like, it's better to have, one character, 2 characters taking up the same amount of screen time as like 5 characters, right? Because then I get to know those 2 characters way better. So that's just something to think about. Not sure how this is going to play out, but food for thought. So let's give a defeated eye. We send word to Gromer. Gothmer. You wanted blood. I want whatever must be done to avenge the murder of my boy. So this hit closer to home thing. It's one of the things I actually struggle with is very similar. Is I put interiority, or I report the character's thoughts, interior thoughts, when it's already evident in the context of the scene. So by him swallowing hard, and maybe he like feels a chill. But yeah, we don't need to say it hit closer because we're kind of getting that he's more affected by this. So it's sort of like voiceover in movies when they have too much voiceover. Now you see, the man said. Now you see why man can't help but be suspicious. People were more suspicious than Silence had imagined, but it made sense to a town so close. Keep from a well-stocked fireplace, greeted Silence on his entrance, the bustle movement inside, minimum and stumbled. Good, that's all we need. It's a great, pithy, solid description. Yes. Yep. Good tactile details. The woman fell into him. I'll write that in. People to forget. Yeah. His sources told him that his target was somewhere. I had forgotten that he was here to kill somebody. Yeah, so you consider reminding the reader a little bit. Maybe in his thoughts, like when he's talking to that guy, like, I hope he doesn't know the guy I'm about to kill. I'm assuming that the guy might be the one he's supposed to kill. Yeah, I would say that it probably needs another mention or two, and bring that tension in. Yeah. That's a really powerful source of tension. Make that kind of what he's doing in the scene, as opposed to just responding. So he's getting a little reactive, right? So he sneaks past the guard. That's awesome. But then he walks into this thing, and this guy kind of owns the conversation. maybe he needs to find his target really soon, and he's like, I gotta stop talking to this drunk guy because I gotta go kill the target. Something to serve multi purposes, to remind us that he's gonna kill somebody, but to also pull us more into the conflict and the tension of the story. That what if something stops him? What if this guy distracts him? Those types of dramatic questions can really keep the reader saying, well, what if this guy ruins the murder attempt, whatever, assassination attempt. Approach to the top of the bar. Bar keeps attention. The woman nodded and finished washing out a glass with a dirty rag before walking over. Her hair set neatly under a tied headpiece. Liquid stained her white. Her sleeves were pulled at her elbows. You have, what I've noticed is you detail a lot. So there's probably two things from just even the two reads right now that I'm kind of seeing. One is you'll have a long space between like mentioning something and like following up. So like, in the first one, in the first draft I read tonight was the card turned over, and we didn't get the rest of the card turning over sequence until maybe almost a page later. Same kind of trend is happening here, where we mention in the first line he's about to murder somebody, but we don't get a follow-up to that until quite a bit later. The other thing is a little bit over-detailing. I would, brevity can be so powerful. So like stuff like this, just pulling out some of these extra things. I think we need the giant mugs, but because it's like the barkeep lady, I'm assuming, is a secondary character. Yeah, I've noticed you need to go back in and rearrange for better flow. Yeah, for sure. But part of it is like, how can you trim down your description? Like, you have really good description, but it's just compacting it, like getting some of the same details in less space might actually help with both. And just looking for the most vivid like, pick the one that's gonna leave pick the one you want me to remember out of all the details. Like this one, probably don't need the hair bit. Yeah. And that could probably get combined down here to something like her beer stained sleeves, or pull up to her the beer stained sleeves of her Yeah, that's a good plan. 10% is just about right. I actually was able to cut right about that much just in line edits, no content changes, just in line edits. But what I would think about is one thing that helped me a lot. Maybe this will be the writing exercise of the night, right? Is go through a writer, a book you like and want to emulate, and highlight sections that have, highlight different colors for action sentences, scene description, interiority, thoughts, or reported thoughts. And dialogue. Yeah, so doing that might be really helpful, because it seems that that kind of balance is still getting worked out. What'll it be? Just a pint or two? That's one plan we'll do. I don't plan to stay long. So yeah, this kind of intro sentence, another thing that is good, but yeah, probably not necessary. You can probably just start with this and let us figure out that he's so this is like a joke, because it's the Harry Potter square, but how is he? Give us a hint on how he's planning on identifying this guy, like the guy he wants to murder. What's his plan? So, I'm kind of putting it in here, like he's looking for the lightning bolt scar. It's Harry Potter, obviously, but he's trying to kill Harry Potter. But that's kind of what you're going for, I think here. It is, giving us just enough that we can go through this discovering his target process with the character. That's really what can generate a lot of relatability. Is what as a character's trying to figure something out, we're trying to figure something out, and you do that. But give us the same tools he has too. So he's looking for possibilities up here. I don't know what that searching process means, but if you give us some more specific details, it might about what that search looks like for him. Guess with their mouth open. Target single tooth. There you go. So yeah, this should probably just be moved up. Yep. Good. Should probably just be moved up. Yeah, I wonder if this could have been established earlier even. Why doesn't he evaluate the guy in front of the tavern? This. I think that's actually where this should be established, is before he goes into the tavern, he should be scoping out the guy in front, everybody around the tavern for their, their teeth situation. Right back. I have a debt to pay. figuring out how to wait. Huh? Figure out a way to get to that tower. And there's like a middle bar that you have to. Right? That's right. I'm not positive. You can pay me in high fives. And bows. Bows of homage. Shakashoku Shrine? Sekasho. Fox's Breath of the Wild. Well, I hear that some people have modded Breath of the Wild so it's like full HD like Skyrim. It's like supposed to be crazy that they can play on 4K on their computer, so maybe if you have a gaming machine, yeah, that's if I had like a real gaming PC, I would definitely go that route. Yeah. So you've been to Hollow Raid yourself, Silencer the Man. Hadn't quite figured the man out yet. Not so much as serving with diplomats in a way. Filth. Yeah, this feels a little too neat. And hero goes in, looks for a target, talks to two people, and the third is his man. What's a way to mix up this sequence? How could Silas's plans be unhinged somehow? Yeah, so I think those are the ways. So this sequence does feel very like, hey, it's Silas is doing everything a normal person would do to achieve his goal, and everything so far is working out. He's going just step by step. While that makes sense, unfortunately, it doesn't drive as much drama and suspense as you could otherwise. Why, doesn't something go terribly wrong? Why doesn't the old man bust in and like try to fight him? I would really think about bringing some sort of uncertainty or some sort of turn to that situation. We're getting close here. This might be my last page. I'm really tired, so I'm only up to this topic 10. It was no longer, yes indeed, it was no longer business as usual. Silas never gave his name away, especially during a contract, but something in Burion had pulled it out of him. Nice callback. Nice callback. It's always cloudy, the land's flood. Days apostrophe S. But so bad. Why'd you stay here? Good. So this is good. This is kind of a save, a very strange save the cat moment. We see Silas as someone with morals. And that's the thing. Doesn't have to be the best guy in the world, just the best, of the assassins. Not heartless. That's like one of the funny things they say about making your characters likable and save the cat moments is it doesn't have to be, he could be in the mob, but he has to be the nicest mobster or whatever, or the mobster that actually has a heart. Made some mistakes in my life. Ain't got much of a choice. So I don't know. I mean, this and some of the other dialogue feels on the nose. Would someone really open up this much to a stranger in a bar? How doesn't he know? Yeah, I mean, the guy might kill him. Oh, exactly. Okay. But then it happens before. Up before. Exactly, yeah. The nicest of the assassins. I don't know if that exactly was for the assassin note or the other dialogue being on the nose. But it happens, this particular dialogue on the nose happens before with the guy outside telling his son's story. So it does feel like that might be a little bit something to take a pass at and just being like, hey, just going through the dialogue, making sure that everything makes sense within the world's contents. Not exactly what's with the guy opening up. Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. So maybe it's a good thing. His target is the major villain. I see. Well, I want to keep reading, but my head is like legitimately drooping. But we're here at 10 pages. I'm going to give you my overall notes, then call it a evening. Great. The good. Love the setup. And the world seems very well thought out. Races, peoples are mentioned and talked about in a consistent context. Like the early setup of conflict of the murder to take place. Improve. I'd say take a dialogue pass. Make sure add a touch more of interiority. Tell us what's going on in and why don't you read about the magic? I want you to see what someone thinks of it. Let's see. Where is the magic part? How far down? Called the Osprey. Bounced over him. I'll do a scan to the magic part. Just go and concentrate. The radiating heat from the tips of his fingers. Alright, there we go. I see the magic. I'll skip ahead.
Call it.
Yeah, I'm about to call it too. I'm like drooping here. The pinpoint of light. Onyx on the luck is turned. Why do you imagine the pinpoint light far away? Onyx scalded his hand and went numb in pain. So then he raised the stone. Time to finish the job. May the Celestials have mercy on you. Okay. I like it. I like the magic system. I like that he, it seems like he's using some sort of blood magic, as well as the stone as a sort of focus, and it kind of can almost zombify the town people in a certain way. I think that's pretty awesome. It's a cool mechanic. It kind of goes down to the, Brandon Sanderson's rules of magic, right? It has to, think of some cool things that can pay off later and start seeding those ideas early. But yeah, I think it's a cool concept for sure. I like it. I'd read more. I like blood magic. I wrote about blood magic in mine, so I'm a big blood magic fan. Fox agrees. I was looking for the. Oh. Yes, I gotta go. I gotta jump Fox's car because I totally forgot. But you're not dead tired. We can talk another time. You're not dead tired. Sounds good. Have a good night. I gotta go jump Fox's Foxmobile. Take care, everybody. It's just the tip of the magic iceberg. Yes, excellent.